should do this a nice, easy, recognizable way. Milia versus Kai. Because I can't fucking beat Kai. I could actually beat Kai, but maybe you can't beat Kai. Maybe I can't beat Kai. I don't know. But we're just gonna go right into it. I'm also partly starting a little early because I wanna squeeze in as much P5 as I can tonight. Okay, yeah, we're just getting started. We're just same thing. So, Kai. What type of character is Kai? That's a good place to start. So I think actually we did Soul first because he's the main character, but Kai is more. He's about. If I had to say it in a sentence, he is outright your fundamental fighting game character. Kai is the closest thing to that. Soul, a good way that someone else described it to me is that Kai is Ryu and Soul is Ken. I think that's pretty accurate. If Kai is Ryu, then he is outright just very, very, very traditional. So mid-range, has a fireball, has a DP. It's very straightforward. Good range. The sword is not for show. He hits pretty far. He has good anti-airs, multiple good anti-airs. Good air versus air also. This move's really good. This is good. This is good. He just has an all-around good moveset. Of course, he's got Stun Edge, which we will talk about a good amount because it's worth talking about. And similar to Soul 2, he's simple also. Like, he's pretty straightforward, but he's also very open-ended. So pretty much every Kai player you play will play different between like how fast they play the game, how they like to place moves, how they like to rush you down. Like, they'll all do different stuff. So I hope you use this as just a baseline to help you against all the Kai warriors out there, even if he's unbeatable. Okay, so just like last time, we'll go right in. I'm just doing the same order every time. I don't want to keep saying just like last time. So, round start. So, quick review about this situation. Round start, of course, means start of the round. What happens as soon as you start the round? Pretty important, because one, you don't want to. I'll go through this quickly, but pretty much it's good to know what they could do, what you can do, and if your character has the advantage at the start of the round, that means you have control immediately, which is nice. Again, I'm not going to include stuff like backdash or jump back or like air dash or dash, because it's implied that one, if they retreat, you just have the advantage, or neutral, depending on what happened. If they jump back, same thing. If they dash, it's pretty much your win if you hit a button. And if they jump forward, it depends on what you did, what happens. So these things are extra hard callouts, so I don't usually talk about that in a specific character's option set, because everyone can do that. And I want to just talk about these specific tools against each other. So for Kai, it's pretty much split into two groups, right? You have, he has common round start options, like ones you'll see decently often, and he has some more uncommon ones that you won't see that much, but they can come out. So if it's the common ones, then they'll definitely be, that's probably number one on the list. So in Milia's case, she can't actually beat this move at the start of the round at all. You see him just kind of get fucked here. There's no competing with that. You see how I had to do something kind of out of the way to beat it? That could be the case of your character too. Just saying, that one is definitely a good one to check. Another one would be that 2S. Because it's a low, you can probably beat this pretty easily, but it might beat stuff that you do. Just give it a quick look. And another common one would be his sweep. His sweep is really good. I'll talk about it more later. As you can see, clearly... Oh, my bad. Yeah, this is what's supposed to happen. It's a low. But it might beat your move too, so just give it a quick look. If I'm just a bit off, I get swept. And if you get hit by that at the start of the round, that's a big disadvantage because you get knocked down, so... As far as uncommon stuff, whoops. Wow, I am so bad at this. There we go. That move is pretty high risk. A lot of these uncommon options are either just high risk or they're just kind of unusual selections. So it's like Stun Dipper is fast. I'll talk about it more later. Obviously high return if he knocks you down. If you're right though, I mean it's our call. Like if you just block, he's very minus. For example, Milia gets a pretty good punish. Actually, everyone gets a good punish. This would suck for him if that happened. He could lose off that. So, Greed Sever. I know I'm waiting for the Greed Sever memes, but he's airborne on frame 4. So it would beat something like, I don't know. Like something like that. It's pretty high return also, and of course, just like Stun Dipper, he will die if you block it or you're just out of the way. Another one, Stun Edge. I don't see this very often. I still think it's worth mentioning. It's pretty slow at the start of the round, but I usually end up seeing this for people who are trying to read like a retreat kind of deal, like a jump away. It gives him a little meter at the start of the round, and it's mildly non-committal. I feel like pretty much anything any character does in this spot will beat it, but I just thought it was worth mentioning anyway, because I see it here and there, so... this is okay. 5H actually okay. I don't actually know what they're looking for when they do this move. It hits my sweep. I don't know what it does to your character. I don't even know what it does against Milia, so just check to make sure that his 5H doesn't coincidentally beat like all your moves or something there. And the last one I wanted to look at was 6P, because it has a good amount of upper body involved. Am I doing fast enough? I thought this I was under the impression that Milia's Far Slash should not beat this, but I might be wrong. Yeah, there we go. Oh wow. I've seen that used too, but again, not very often. So just check. Give yourself a quick check. Set up that blitz plus record to do it, and then blitz plus play to get him to do it at the same time as you. Okay. Moving right along. That stuff is pretty straightforward, so I'll just jump right into the meat, which is neutral, especially because that's what this character likes to do. One thing he specializes in, let's say. Well, I'll change songs too. Holy Order is only good for like 15 minutes or so. I picked the... God, I'm so wet. I am extra wag. Yeah, Kai is indeed a strong character. That is definitely true. Also, let me get Gun Train open just in case I made a mistake or something. We'll switch it to the new theme. I like the new theme too. There we go. Okay. Let's start with forward slash. It has to be forward slash, right? So forward slash. This is a pretty big staple of his game in neutral. Good range. Really, really good range. Actually, I shouldn't say good, just good range. And there's a pretty good option set after that, even though it's a forward slash. What I mean is, like, a lot of traditional Guilty Gear characters, their option set, so as in, again to clarify, the options they have off that move are usually kind of limited. Like in Milia's case, if she does a max range forward slash with no meter, she pretty much can't do anything really with it. It's kind of just a check. Or like we talked about last week with Soul, he has a really big option set, but you can do stuff to cover the majority of it. The majority of it. Kai actually has a pretty decent one between Stun Edge, 2S Whiff, and 3H. He actually has a pretty decent one. The one weakness of 3H, of course, being there's a small dead zone. So at absolute max range, he can't. I'll just do it from here. He can't tag you with it. Okay, that should be good. Okay, so that is why that's good. So if we start with going back a week, so a big weakness that Soul has is with his far slash is even though he has a big option set, you can cover a lot of it by like jumping or doing something, but that 3H helps keep you in check a little bit. So if the other options I could safely move after, this is of course if I'm committing immediately, but in that case the 3H will tag me, which is really good. And on top of that too, it's pretty easy to hit confirm into slide. It's not that hard to do. But generally the return on hit is low. That's a con. Generally it's low. It's not always, but generally. On counter hit, is it actually counter hit? I think it's just, I should check. I thought for sure on crouch. Whoa, nice. Yeah, it's for sure on crouch. Pretty sure on counter hit too. He can confirm it to 3H, that's damage. But overall, it's like a mostly standard forward slash where you don't get that much return from it. And sometimes, like in the case with forward slash 2S, if they're committing to that, then they're definitely not going to get anything off it. Another thing too, it has a lot of recovery also. So it actually, hold on. It actually makes it, it's hard to do with Milia though. Usually I end up doing that, but it actually has a lot of recovery. It has 19 frames recovery, so if you're considering that he whiffs that, you have 25 frames to see that whiff. So, what do you do about this? Or how should you approach this move? So Milia's not. Milia, I don't think she is good at this. She's fine. It's easier with Soul. I'll switch to Soul. I'll do the same thing I did last week. It's easier with Soul. That his far slash is really vulnerable to 6P. Soul is like one of the best examples. So I think here at this range is not even tag, okay. So I should, oh, I have to be a little closer. There we go. Oh, I thought I got it. Whew. There we go. There we go. That's your boy Soul. That's your boy Soul. Of course, his is a extreme example. But just in general, his far slash does struggle against 6P, so you might want to check to see if you can do that. I'll go back to the thing. Now, 2, if you somehow could low profile this move, then that's an option. It's honestly just a skinny horizontal line. It's a long horizontal line, but it's very skinny. So you can go under it, like so. Whoopsie, Deco slash. I did too fast. I should just let him do it first. Whoop. Into whatever. So if you have a move like that, that also works. If you... Milia will be an extreme example of this, but again, it has slow recovery, so you can try to jump over it. Milia is the extreme because you can do that from a pretty safe range, but I mean any character could just like hop over it since it has a long recovery time. And of course, again, back to recovery, you can whip punish it if possible. Milia is not so good at this. Actually, just kidding. She's really decent at it. It just does not come up a lot in matches for me. That's what usually happens. You may or may not have a move that can do this. And you have to be pretty on point. Like, I mean, I know it's coming, so it's a little bit easier for me. That one's pretty tough. See, that's what happens. I'm just a little late. Your character might be better at it though, so definitely check that out. Next. 2D the God. That move is really fucking good. That's definitely one of the better sweeps in the game. It's fast. It's 7 frames, so it's fast as fuck. It has a lot of active frames. It has 12 active frames. He could whiff it, and it will just kind of be hanging around. So, oh, I did too late. This happens to me a lot. There you go. That happened to me a lot. That can happen to you. Look how late I'm hitting the button. I just get tagged. And it also is jump cancelable on block. Not that many sweeps have that. So it's jump and special cancelable, which I'll talk about more later. It's kind of like a rushdown thing. And it's kind of hard to whiff punish because it has so many active frames. So like, again, oh, I did it later, but let's say if you train yourself like to whiff punish at like an okay level, this move will fuck you up pretty bad because you'll see it and then you'll hit a button, you get hit anyway. It kind of sucks. If your character is fortunate enough to have a sweep to have like some kind of good low crush move, that's usually the best way to beat it. So in Milia's case, you could beat it for free with sweep, which is really nice. Because she has foot invol on her sweep. It also has a long total duration, so maybe you have something you could do that can tag it from a safe distance or something. In my case, I have the wonderful. This kind of comes up a lot, where I get to hit it from above because you can kind of just hit that button. It is fast, like I said before. Maybe your character has something they can do too. Here's another example of low crush. You can just go right over it. Outside of that though, so it has 12 frames. It's active for 12 frames, and the recovery is 12 frames. So you can see it. If it whiffs, you have plenty of time to see that it's out, but you don't have a very large window to hit it. But I think it could be done. So just try to mess around with that. Depending on the matchup, it'll be pretty important for you to be able to deal with that move. Okay. What is next? 6P. 6P. So this is like a ground versus ground. We're talking from the perspective of ground versus ground. First, we'll talk about it as a ground move first. So in the first place, you should know it's up, like, as an anti-air, it has upper body involved. So when the frame data just says upper body, it's above the waist, like from the waist up. And then later in the move, from like frame 7 to frame 13, it's above the knees. So it's a really good ground risk ground poke. So you'll see that. So that means that just duffed my far slash really bad. But on the flip, it has a long total duration. So if he whiffs it, he's in trouble. So he's kind of screwed here. So if you see him using it as a ground move, you know what type of move they're aiming for. You should know like what move in your character's moveset a Kai that's running around doing 6P is aiming for, and 2, you can get a feel for the range he'd like to use it, and punish accordingly if he overcommits. Because of how long it is, because of how long that move is total, as far as total duration, it's a hard commit. It's not a soft commit. We can talk about committal versus non-committal later, but it's a hard commit. So if he whiffs that, you should definitely aim to punish it, like as much as possible. The easiest way, of course, is with sweeps, like I showed before. It's pretty easy to do because there's nothing down there. Also, just like far slash, if he's running around trying to use it as a ground move, then you could actually hit him from the air. So, as in waiting for him to use, like the timing that will use it as a ground move means he's not looking at you airborne. He won't see you airborne. So you can actually hit him in the air, from the air. Now, as an anti-air, it's actually pretty tough to deal with that move. It really depends on your character, how you deal with it. It's a really, really good anti-air. It's a super, super good anti-air. Especially because, like I said before, at a certain point, it is invul above the knees. So it is very unlikely you'll actually beat this move if you jump in. Especially if you're trying to like hit under his knees, he's gonna be doing it before you do that. So it's actually pretty tough to deal with. As an anti-air, at least. As an anti-air. Like other anti-airs, it's mostly like don't jump at him from that range, especially if you could tell he's waiting for you to jump. If you have something that can change your mobility or something, that's a good option. Alright, I will move on. Jumping H. I feel like a lot of this move is really good as a jump in and just a space control. It controls, as you see, it's pretty big. And I feel like it's extra strong at like a beginner level. It has a really, really big hitbox. Of course, I walked and did not get hit. Okay, there you go, pretty big. But it's also slow. That's usually the weakness of moves like that. It's really big, controls a lot of space, but it's also slow. So it is, if I recall, okay, I was wrong. It's 13 frame startup. That's pretty slow for a jumping move. So there's a couple of ways you could deal with this. If you have like a fast anti-air, like a jab that hits up there, that's perfect. You see a lot in this matchup specifically, if I get there fast enough, that my 5P will beat this if I'm in range, but only if I get there in time. Not everyone has a move like that, though, so if you don't, another thing to do is air dash at him with a fast move. And usually characters have like fast jump Ps. You might want to check to see what you could do, but in my case, usually what happens is I should make him jump first and do like the fade away. So there's the fade away. I did too fast. I want to do it a little bit later. Oops. I can't air dash on command. There we go. Whoa! Kai's godlike. My CPU Kai is godlike. Yo, my CPU Kai is godlike! What the fuck? My recording is great. And then kind of a third point too is, so you don't want him doing that for free, but at the same time you don't want to unnecessarily challenge. So for example, if he's here, this is actually pretty common, let's say, this kind of spacing. If he's here and he jumps back and does jump H, that's a much easier spot to decide to do like an air dash fast attack to hit him than when you're like here in neutral and there's a lot of things like he can do. He can do a lot of things here. He can do far slash, he can do nothing, he can run up sweep, he can jump back, jump H, he can do jump forward, jump S, he can do rise and JK, nothing. He can do DP, I guess. Do stun edge YRC. He can do a lot of stuff at that spot. In this spot, he can't do as many things, so you have to consider that if you're aiming to beat that move. Okay, did I put? Oh, I guess I didn't do that. That's fine. Okay, so stun edge. We're gonna talk about stun edge for a while. Stun edge. Okay. For a projectile, it's pretty fast. Pretty fast startup. 10 frames. Travels until it hits something, goes off screen. Pretty standard fireball, all things considered. The duration's long. It's what is it? I didn't write it down. 46 frames total, so it's pretty long. If he whiffs it with no meter, you should be able to just hit him. Usually something like an air dash is fine, or a jump is fine. Anything's fine. And some characters can go under it too. So, for example, Priest or Soul can just like do 2D or something. Slayer can 6P. That's using his upper body info though. Axel, I'm pretty sure it can 2K under it. Blah blah blah. But outside of just this move and standard string, oh, I can't do fireball. That's why I don't play him. Outside of standard screen control stuff that he does with his normal fireball, the thing to talk about is stun edge YRC, and I did PRC well. I still did PRC, so it's gotta be pretty fast. This is one of those, we can talk about YRC, projectile YRC in a minute, for a minute, not in a minute. Kai stun edge YRC is like a just do it. He can do it. He does it. He gets a large amount of non-committal screen control for 25 meter. Compared to this, where it takes a pretty long time for him to recover. When he does I almost said S-Disc YRC, my instincts. Stun edge YRC, he gets a large amount of screen control for only 25 meter. No actual commitment from him, or I should say low, technically. This does many things. The obvious thing that you see people do is they just kind of run behind it and see what you do. But what it does is he gets control of the pace, like guaranteed control of the pace of the match for a couple of seconds, which is good. He gets way better screen control. If you block it, he's very advantageous, and he can force you to move a certain way. It's pretty much force you in a disadvantageous situation. So it's either you end up, guarding it and he gets to rush you down, or you have to jump and he puts you in an unfavorable situation. This is pretty tough to deal with, especially because, like I said before, he can kind of just do it, since stun edge will always travel the duration of the screen, or the distance, the full distance under screen, or until it reaches you. He can mostly do it from any range. As far as hitting him out of it, you technically only have the 6 frame window of YRC, because YRC has startup. But after that startup is gone, I mean, it's just out. So a couple of things to consider about it. The big point outside of what I just said about YRC is he will get forced meter cooldown for 6 seconds. That is pretty big, so unless he has a lot of meter already, like right now you can look at it as he has 2 stun edge YRCs stocked. But if he has 25, then not only does he only have 1 stun edge YRC available, but if he does do it, he won't get another one for a decent amount of time. And in the first place, as far as that move in general, when you have 25 meter, depending on the character you're playing, you will have to approach him differently when he has that. Because again, he has access to it at any time, and it will always travel to the duration of the screen. Some characters don't have projectile YRCs that go full screen, like Soul. So if I want to compare it to Soul, because we talked about Gunflame YRC for a while last week, Gunflame YRC at, let's say, this range will slow down the pace, but it mostly forces you to peel back. But Stun Edge YRC forces you into a bad neutral situation or guarding. So, I mean, the ideal is to avoid him, but it's pretty hard. Try to find something of your character to handle this. I mean, I play Milia, so I'm a little bit privileged in that I have a lot of movement options, so I'm not totally done if they decide to do Stun Edge YRC from full screen like that. So let's quickly, it's one of the things I want to talk about is kind of hard to replicate with just a training dummy, but this is kind of a general projectile YRC thing I almost said in general. Let me set Amelia to jump. So a common, this you'll see this all the time in matches. It's pretty dangerous to be above someone who does a projectile YRC because you can't move and stuff. I also cannot fucking air throw for shit. Here we go. That's pretty high return for him. He gets a knockdown. I guess I want to say at a basic level, what you want to do is just avoid that situation if possible. It's hard to say. He's really advantaged when he does that. If you're talking about higher level stuff, it would be worth mentioning that you could try to like option select air like tech throw during YRC flash, but this video is not aimed for that type of player, so I won't really go into that. Just worth mentioning that if he has that available, just be a little bit more cautious because he can use it at any time, and you don't want to be put into a really bad situation because of it. Like, you're going to be disadvantaged, but you don't want it. You just want to mitigate how bad it is. Okay. Okay. Split Sail, Jib D are kind of they're like the same move. But, so this gives you the leveled up fireballs. JD does not JD. 5D does the same thing. Whoops. I figure so. Split Seal, you can't really technically do anything about it if he's out here. Besides, just if you're so worried about Split Seal, then don't play in that range, right? But if you're talking about Jump D, there's actually stuff you could do about Jump D, especially if they're doing it kind of freely. Some Kai players do this a lot. The move itself is kind of slow, so like you can tag it. You can tag it right out of the startup. It's not active for a while. But Split Seal and JD is another one of those moves where it varies a lot by your character. If it's a big deal for your character, your character probably has problems dealing with it in the first place. If you're like a faster character, like let's say if you're Chip or something, I don't think Chip is stressing out about Split Seal full screen, but maybe someone like Potemkin or Slayer would be stressed out about it. Split Seal from full screen, can't really do that much about it, but you got JD is very slow startup, so if you're in a spot where you can hit him out of it, or you notice that they like to do it a lot, then like I said, by all means, just tag him out of that. One more. Whoa, we talked a lot though. Greed Sever. So in neutral, in neutral, this move is high risk, high return, low crush. So if we step back to, let's say, his 2D, my 2D beats his 2D for free. If he's fighting as a character that has a good low, there is a chance that, depending on the player you play against, of course, that Ggxrd sever could come out. And it's airborne frame 4, like I said before, so it'll pretty much be any low, and the return is really high. But again, it's pretty high risk too, so if you guard it or you don't do what he wants you to do and he whiffs it, then you get a free punish. So that's good. Okay. I think that's good for his core general tools. Are there any questions? I'm gonna look at the chat again, or pay attention to the chat, I should say, a little more for a little bit. So where should he be using Split Seal from, ideally? So there's pretty much two spots. There's one spot we're going to talk about after this break is done. I'm going to switch songs again. And then the other spot is pretty much full screen. Like, he can't really do it in front of you. You know what I mean? Can't really do it close to you, a move like that. Oh, wow, excuse me, I got hiccups. Of course he'll do it in combos, and he'll use it in pressure also. Those are the main three places. It has 5K and 2S in the main buttons. You think over. He doesn't really use 5K neutral though. He actually doesn't use. I don't see those as like general moves really. Those are more like specifics. You know what I mean? Like another move I didn't really touch on is 5H, but that move doesn't come out a lot. That's more of like a specific. Are you a scrub? You like playing Kai? Nope. No, you're fine. You're fine, you're fine. Yeah, if you have any questions about what I just talked about, then go ahead. Or if you want me to expand on stuff, then go ahead. Don't worry, 6H is coming for Rushdown. Rushdown, Rushdown. Explain Kai pressure. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I just want to make sure everyone is fine with what I just talked about. Then we talk about Rushdown. Are you gonna beat up some Kais to demonstrate? I mean, I could. I guess the real meta, not meta, but the real tech would be to play. Wow. To play against a Kai before, or not a Kai, but the character before I do this, right? And then, like at the end, just be like, oh, here are matches, but it's Millia versus the character, so, you know, it's not, I don't know, maybe it's a good idea. Alright, let me finish this shaking. Ooh, man, this shake is really thick, by the way, okay. So, when you are blocking, okay, when you are blocking, so, we're doing another standard, as far as, character overall, we're doing another standard character, so, Kai is pretty similar to Soul, who we talked about last week, where he has a pretty open-ended set of Gatlings, so what I mean is, he has a lot of stuff that goes into other stuff, and you can mostly do it you can kind of do it however you want. People kind of go about it a little bit differently, but they all have mostly have a theme behind how they approach his rushdown. So he doesn't have a command grab, of course. So there's not as extreme a focus on defending against throws. Soul, of course, he has wild throws, so if you get hit by that, that fucking sucks. But if you get thrown by Kai, it's not bad. It's bad, you got hit, he knocked you down. If he has a meter in the corner, then he gets a fat combo, so that one actually sucks. But you're not... what you're more focused on is just making sure he cannot totally threaten you. When we talked about Soul, let's say the quote-unquote goal was to just get him into a range where he had to do something to get back in. That was kind of the end theme of defending against Soul. Kai is a little bit different. Kai is overall aiming to try to do a couple of things. Either punish a mistake / escape attempt, or try to force a mix-up attempt with meter or something. So to start, I think the best way to start is to talk about 6K, actually. If I went through, so pretty much if I went through move by move, I think it would kind of be a waste of time, because especially just across the cast, a lot of characters have like similar points, like similar things you do to them on defense. For example, many characters, if you're like, man, what should I do when a guy is doing 2P to me, you want to FD that. That's almost pretty much across the board. You want to FD like 2Ps, 2Ks, and stuff like that. So rather than go through each individual move, like, oh, you should do this when you block this, you should do this when you block this, I feel like it's better to talk about some of the biggest problems a character can present to you when you're on defense. I think 6K is a really, really good one to start with. For starters, it's +4 on block, attack level 4. If we're talking about what it is on block, it's +4 even, +6 normal IB FD, right? So depending on how you guard it, it has a different advantage, of course. Attack level 3 means it's even on IB, okay. And it's 19 frame startup, so it's not fast, but there are a couple of big issues with this move, and it's kind of why I wanted to talk about first. The number one problem is that it advances. So if you're trying to FD, even if when you FD the move, he does get pushed out further than normal, but it advances as well. It advances and he'll be +6. That's a really big deal. Also, he has a lot of moves that go into 6K. Actually, most of his moveset go into 6K, so... 5P doesn't reach Milia crouching, but that one does it. Okay, there you go. 2P does, 6P, 5K, 2K, close slash... I did close far slash, but that can whiff sometimes though. 2 slash and 5H, they all go into 6K. So if you IB, because the easy answer would be, oh, IB this move because he's even. The Kai's probably not expecting you to IB it. It's not impossible to guard confirm, but that's a pretty advanced thing. That's like a very high level player is doing that kind of stuff. Your standard player does not do that. So if you IB that move, it's likely that they won't even realize that you did it, so you can try to counter or something. But if you try to IB 6K expecting something else, either you will get hit outright. So this is one thing that happens to me a lot, actually. Let's say, I don't know, we'll make it easy. We'll do like... Oh, hold on. I should probably make him jump. Let's make him jump first. Whoops! Nice, nice. That's why I don't play Kai. See, so I tried to IB 6K, I actually missed it anyway. Wow, I'm fucking free. So, because you're not, you have to let go of the stick, or at least go to neutral, I mean, to IB. So if you miss it, you can't IB for 30 frames. If they do something else, with a gap, you're not holding any direction, you're neutral, so it will just hit you. Both of these are really, really bad outcomes for you. Being locked out of IB is no good. First off, if you don't, a lot of people don't know that you can be locked out of IB in the first place. So if you miss that, you might not be, but you might be the type who you're like, man, I'm missing IBs, what the fuck, and you're getting mad, which takes away from your focus, which sucks. Alternatively, you can recognize that you missed it, but now you just can't IB for a little while, which it still sucks. The worst, of course, is if you just get hit. So that happens to me a lot. That happens to me quite a bit. I try to IB 6K, but instead I get hit by sweep. Now, if you kind of have a read on it, on how they like to do it, you could try to, for example, mash, because it's a slow move. It's an obvious risk, but you could try to do a delay mash there. And of course, like I said before, you can aim to IB it, and it's a really good thing to IB. The final thing you could do, this doesn't happen too much, but it usually happens when they try to do max range 6Ks. I'd have to move to a range where you can do it, but if you FD, like let's say that, it'll whiff. So if you recognize that whiff, you can punish it, but it's kind of hard to do. So usually, probably best ways to go about it is to try to delay mash. You can hold it. It sucks to hold it, but you can hold it. Try to push him out from other stuff, depending on the pressure structure, or aim to IB it. But again, the hard part is he can do it from pretty much any move, so since it advances, you can kind of expect him to try to do it when he's a little bit farther. They probably won't do it here, but they might, let's say, do it, I don't know, like there, for example, or around here, they'll try to do it. Just keep that in mind. One final thing too is, so I mean, obviously something like that, or nice execution. Something like this is easy to mash. Something like close slash. Whoops. You cannot mash, so just be careful about that too. Okay. Next, another cool one, another cool move is not that. Actually, I probably should do it just to set it up. Okay, 6H. 6H. This move is being changed in about, I mean, technically it's already changed, right? But we'll get it in about, I don't know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This move is really good though. It's plus 15, plus 11, plus 17. So normal IB FD, attack level 4. It's not fast, but the spots where they use it, like you saw right there, I use it as a meaty, and it only has 2 frames recovery, so it pretty much has very, very negligible recovery. He uses it to set up favorable rushdown, guessing games, blah blah blah. Now, the standard way, this thing is actually the very first thing someone told me about GG when I started Ggxrd, is you want to FD the first hit and IB the second hit, so that you push him out as far as you can with the first hit, and then you get as much advantage as you can from the second hit. He's still going to be plus 11, but he's going to be farther out. In the corner, obviously, I can't really do much, but mid-screen, I might have something available. Like I could backdash, maybe mash if he dashes. There's some things I could do. meaty is the situation you'll see it the most. So in that spot, as a meaty, you can actually aim to try to blitz it. Obviously, that's a guess. That's a hard guess. That will lose to 5k. You'll see Kai sometimes do 5k meaty instead of 6h meaty. That is the reason why. In Rushdown, it's similar to 6k in that he has a bunch of moves that Gatling into it. It's slower than 6k. It's 23 frames and not 19, so it's a little bit easier to mash if he's point blank. But it's different in that it does not advance, so he can't use it as freely. So while 6k he can use from around this range, 6h it's big. You'll hit here, but he can't use it from as far away. So if you don't want to block that, the best thing you could do is try to push him out as much as you can before, especially if you see them doing it a lot. If you guarded it already, pretty much all you could do is try to IB that second hit, because he's going to be plus 11, and then you have to just see what he does after. He has really, really big advantage if you block that move. Okay, 2D, so 2D is jump and special cancelable. Whoa, I just almost yanked my headset out of my TV. That could have been bad. So, unlike most, let's set Amelia on as an example. Her 2D is not jump cancelable, it's only special cancelable. So her option set is pretty limited after doing it, but because Kai can jump after his, the option set is a little bit more open. So usually, the kind of a good way to deal about with this move, you'll have to check with your character though, is you want something to deal with the special options, the special cancel options, and react to the jump option, because it's pretty. I mean, it's easier to react to him jumping than most of his special cancel stuff. So like, let's say you won't see that probably. But if he does anything, it would be either that, stun edge. I did too fast. Actually, I'm pretty sure he can't do that, right? Stun edge could come, nothing could come. He could just sit. He could just do nothing, or he could jump and see what you do. Oh, there we go. I got it that time. So it's worth checking to see what you could do about this. Now, one thing. Okay, hold on. Let's set her to FD. If you FD this move, actually, where is it? There we go. So he actually cannot YRC off it. Or if he can, somebody needs to show me they can do it, because I can't do it. Because the YRC window for stun edge is actually pretty small. So you have that, but just keep in mind it doesn't stop him from doing that. Yeah, check to see how your character deals with it. It's different for each character, for sure. If you're really worried about stun edge YRC after it, which you kind of should be, then try to FD, because that will add enough block stun that he can't do it. Or maybe it's one frame timing, I don't actually know. Which leads us into the last big point, is split seal. So I put this at the end because this move is, I kind of think people let that move rock a little bit too much. They respect it a little bit too much. It should be respected. It's a pretty scary situation, but I think people let him get away with doing this move too much. First of all, it's a minus on normal guard, so it's actually -1, -5, +1 for normal IB FD. The range is not super huge. Like, you'll hit from there. It has really big pushback, but since he's minus, if you aim to IB it, you could try to escape. So let's say if he does like that kind of thing, let's say he does this kind of string. That would kind of be the ideal defense. So I FD'd 2D and IB'd the split seal. Of course, that's not always gonna happen, but if you FD it, you kind of have to hold that because he is plus and he's at a pretty good range for him. If you normal guard it, it's not so bad. You have the advantage. He's far away though. But there's a pattern of Kais who, like, let's say they do something like this, that kind of thing, which is clearly a hard commit. So you can check those kind of commits. It's kind of like a guessing game situation where it's -1. When it's -5, it's clearly your favor, so you should do something. This move is one of those moves where, however you decide to guard it, and this will be touched on many times in the coming weeks, however you decide to guard it, you should do something based on how you do guard it. So what do I mean by this? So for example, if we're talking about like 2P or something, and you're FDing, you probably are not going to do something after you FD it. You're just going to recognize, oh, he did 2P, I did faultless defense, he's farther away from me now he can do this stuff. But for a move like split seal, that is technically, let's say, the end of his offense if he decides to do split seal. He can do stuff to chase you, but you can definitely do something. So you don't want to just IB it and then do nothing, or FD it and do nothing, or normal guard it and do nothing. This is a move where whatever choice you make about how to guard, you should do something based on how you guarded it. So for example, like I said, if you IB it, you should definitely do something if you IB it. If you normal guard it, then it's kind of a toss-up based on what they like to do and what you think they might do if you haven't played them before. If you FD, you pretty much have to respect it, but oh, well, maybe I just FD. At least he goes really far away, so even though he's +1, you may have a chance to do something. This is not the best example of that kind of statement, like, oh, depending on how you guard, you should definitely do something, but it's one. It's a nice one to start with. Okay, I think that's a good place to take a little break. Does anyone have any questions about that stuff, what we just talked about? That wasn't as much as Soul, but I think there were some things I talked about that maybe I didn't explain in a good way. I gotta make Millie a player too. He can also jump D. Jump D is kind of whack in his rush down mostly. You're probably respecting him way too much if you let him just do that in your face. Talk about safe jump and low pro versus DP. That's next. That's next. I pretty much, like, if you look at the Evernotes, it's pretty much all. Oh, I wanted to change the song and I didn't. It's pretty much all has the same structure. It's a really similar structure to how I take notes. So it's very much like round start, neutral, and different points of neutral, defending against him, and then what I could do to them when I'm rushing down. So. Oh, I wanted him to be player 1. So I wanted him to be player 1. Are you going to go over his mix-up style defense? I sort of only wanted to touch on the pressure structure. I think you can just block him on reaction, but you have to practice. So, I don't really have that much to say about that. It's not like a special thing like poke or wild throw or something. Like if it was a character, like if I was talking about, I don't know, like Mei or something, I'd have to talk about defending set play for a while. But for him, it's just like not really. Okay, I'm guessing that means I could just keep going. As a main player, I feel like I struggle pretty hard against Kai. Yeah, it will definitely depend on what character you're playing, how you deal with him. He's fucking good. Let's just be frank. He's a pretty good character. I rate him pretty highly as a character. But it will help if you know just his good general tools, so that you can at least try to figure out what you could do with your character to counter them based on like their strengths and weaknesses and stuff. Let's see. So this last part is going to be about rushing him down now, like when you have offense on him. His defensive spread is, well, I mean, it's pretty much nobody has as good defensive spread as Soul. Are you going to talk about slight RC and pressure? No, because if you think about it, why? Like you just can't do anything about it. When you block stun dip or RC, it pretty much just lets him keep doing stuff. Or you could do a Shinobi special and do that weird looking jump late air dash or jump land low. You can't do anything when he does that. Stuff like guaranteed stuff that you can't do anything about. There's not much point into like talking about it. It's something that they could just do. I kind of want to. There's a special part I want to add at the end about committal versus non-committal options and stuff, because I didn't really talk about that last week. But I do want to touch on it this week, or maybe just have a specific section, like a highlight, to talk about it after this section, which I'll probably go with that one. But I just want to get through this first. When you're rushing down Kai, so back to what I said, his defensive spread is, well, nobody has as good a defensive spread as Soul. Soul is really good on fucking defense. Kai is decent on defense though. He's not like Soul level, but he's pretty good. He has a DP, has some good stuff he can match. We'll go through it really quick. He has a Vapor Thrust. This move is a DP, but it has a lot of weaknesses. So when he's doing this, he is committing pretty hard, depending on who you're playing against. You can do a couple things. You can... I should have did it right. Yes, you can use a media against it. That's pretty easy to do. Of course, the move, you have to check to see if your character can do something like that. Alternatively, you can outright low profile it. I'm probably showing it the wrong character, though I think in Milia's case she'll just block. But if you do like Souls 2D, that'll just make it whiff for free. You can low profile it. It's pretty easy to safe jump that move too. Milia's not a character that can safe jump, but if you have a character that uses safe jumps, it's pretty easy to safe jump his DP. His DP is slow. Back to Ggxrd Sever. This moves off the ground frame 4, so you will see people dice roll this on block. Same thing as before, just high risk, high return. Airborne frame 4, just remember this when you're rushing him down. If you use like fast moves, like if I do, let's say, hold on, I'm gonna make a stand. There you go. Like, whoops. Forgot IB. Oh wow. There you go. See, a move. If it's a move like that, Ggxrd Sever won't beat it. So when they're doing that, it's again a really hard call. But it's just something to keep an eye out because people will do it. The one that you'll see a little bit more often is actually Stun Dipper on defense. This could be a little bit hard to deal with. It's not. It's high risk if he doesn't have 50. If he has 50, it's more of just an expensive option because it's 5 frame startup. And you could also have the case too where they use it as a reversal. So for example, I'm using meter for this. Let's say, oops. Like how many times have you seen something like that or something where they do reversal stun dipper? Its strong point is definitely its speed and how far it travels. So again, if he has meter, it's just expensive. If he doesn't have meter, it is certainly high risk. So this move, Millia is actually also, again, a good way to show this off. Let's see, I'll just do hair car, whatever. Actually, I won't even do that. Let's do it with this. Whatever. So, I mean, this move is a standard super, except for a thing where it gets him out of the corner. So, ideally, if you want to set something up against that, it's not fast, so you have that on your side. But ideally, you want to do something that you can mix him up or meaty him and also block that. Because if not, he just gets to escape to full screen. That, of course, again, will depend on your character. If you, as far as common moves they'll mash out, it'll be the same as like any other character. It's just 2D would be special just because of how long it's active. So same thing as before. Like it's just fast plus long active frames. So I would say as far as Ggxrd 2D bash, let's just kind of be aware. Stun Dipper, definitely try to pay attention to his meter, or you probably already know if Kai is doing it to you. Like if you are a Millia player, let's say, you have likely seen a Kai do reversal Stun Dipper to you at some point. A Vapor Thrust, again, safe jump, low profile, meaty. Even I didn't even do this. You can maybe your character can do this too. I don't know. Or maybe not. There we go. Yeah, maybe your character can do something like that. Maybe not. Maybe my character is really bullshit. I don't know. But the main point is there's a lot of ways to deal with the Vapor Thrust. It's definitely not the best DP. Okay. Okay, that is